Before we get into the demo, I just wanted to show you two other paintings that I have done from the freeze frames from the Listen to Your Horse YouTube channel videos. So this first one, I'm actually painting on the birchwood panels. These are lightweight, they're going to be easy to put the hooks on. I've put 2 coats of gesso onto the board, and I've actually really enjoyed painting on this surface. I think I'll probably continue on using the birchwood panels instead of the canvas. With this particular picture, it was initially a herd of about 5 horses, and it just got too complicated. I couldn't figure out whose legs belonged to which bodies. So in hindsight, probably after an hour of painting, I decided I was going to make it easier on myself and just go down to 2 horses. From a design perspective, it probably would have been better if I was going to do the 2 to put them closer together and onto this 1/3 grid line, but I didn't want to redo the entire painting, so I just eliminated the excess horses and I have reduced it to the 2. The next painting that I completed, again another one on the birchwood panels. This is of Juno, and I broke a couple of the art rules with this one. The main one being that your subject matter should never be smack bang in the middle of the canvas. Well, I just felt that Juno's energy of running full bore, of passion, of kicking up the dust, of not giving a hoot about who's around and, you know, human rules. It's just like, let's go, let's be free and do our own thing. And I just love that energy. So he is positioned right in the center of the canvas. I liked the way that the light was haloing his upper body and the light on the mane. I just thought that was just gorgeous. So although he is quite silhouetted, it works. And again, this is not sky, this is the mountain range behind these trees. Sky is much further up, but I hope you like that one. I'll just zoom in and you can see a closer image. And the one that we're going to do today, I'm just going to be working off a reference photo. This one is of Kumba, one of Jini's dogs, who is out here in the pasture with Makamape. He's just grazing in the winter sunshine there. Beautiful blue hills in the distance, bright blue sky. So let's roll the demo and I'll get into showing you how I painted this one, which I have called Sunshine on Snow. The next thing that I wanted to do was to turn this into black and white and use the Notanizer app. So up here on the left corner, Notanizer app. I've uploaded my image, but this is the Notanizer app taking my colored photo and reducing it to only 4 tones. So you can see we've got the dark patches, which is tone number 1. We've got this mid-grey patch of the hills. that's tone number 2. We have this grey here in the snow and in the sky, that's tone number 3. And then the last tone is the white. So the white of the horse and the white of the sky and the white of the snow. What I like about having a reduced tonal range is it really shows the center of interest. This large area of white of the horse is our focal point. These snow lines are leading up to the horse, which is really good. These ones are leading over to the horse, and even the sky is coming over and almost stopping right above the horse. So all of that helps to lead the viewer's eye into the focal point. I'm feeling a little bit lazy today, so I've pre-mixed some of the colours that I'm going to be using in this picture. The sky colour, we've got a light, a mid-tone and a dark, so that's those 3. The horse, I've got some yellowish colour where the sun is hitting and a little bit of a more peachy orange. Those 2 I am just going to leave out of the harmonizer mix that I'm going to show you how to make in a minute. But we have some of the grass colours, then some of the green of the trees in the background, and some of the hill colours. What you can do is, and it is a slow process, but it's well worth doing, is you take a little bit of paint from every single mix that you have, I've got a lot of this one, so I'll take a bit more. And then you mix them all together. And this is called the harmonizer colour. It contains a little bit of everything. And then what you do is you mix a little bit of this into every colour that you're going to be using. And you can mix it more thoroughly, but just for the purposes of this, I'm just going to show you very quickly. So you can see that subtle blue tinge going in to every single mix. It alters every single colour pile that you have ever so slightly. But what it's doing is it's blending and harmonising every single mix. So it's going to knock back the intensity of the blue. If I needed to, I could go again and pick up a little bit of every colour and come back into it. In fact, I might just knock back the intensity of the blue in the sky mix. And then when you put your paints onto the canvas, there is actually a lovely harmony that exists between all of them. Now the way that I start my paintings is to put my darkest darks in first. I was really amazed when I was making up the colour for the snow in these distant hills that it was almost pure cerulean blue straight out of the tube. All I've done is added just a touch of white to soften it. I now swap to a bigger brush as I'm painting a bigger area and place a suggestion of where the tree branches should go. However, it was too fiddly to paint the sky in and around them, so they actually got obliterated. The sky is darker at the top of the panel and becomes progressively lighter towards the horizon. The colour changes from phthalo blue mixed with white to a soft pale lemon where it touches the hills. There is a touch of scarlet that I've added to the middle band of the sky area. One of the drawbacks of being an artist who is at home is the tendency to make too many cups of coffee and have too many bickies. After I got back from my coffee break, I did a little bit of tweaking. I put a few more colour changes into the snow in the distant hills and the tree line in the distance there. I felt that just having it all green was too boring, so I added a lot more colour changes into there. And now let's continue on with our demo where I'm starting to work on the grasses. You know, it's only when you paint something that you come to appreciate the stunning ability that our eyes have for detecting subtle colour changes. This snow, it's not just white. There are shadow areas that have phthalo blue in them. There's sky reflected areas that have cobalt blue in them. There's areas that have tinges of phthalo green. There are sunlit areas that have lemon yellow in it. There are other areas in shadow, like around near Kumba, that have subtle purple changes and there's subtle grey colour variations. So it took quite a while to get the canvas colour covered with all of these different colour changes. The painting is almost complete. There's just one more element to go, and that is to paint the horse, Patel. I'm just mixing up a light colour and working in the shadow areas. I felt that they were initially too cool, so I'm just warming them up a little bit and putting a few of those colours into the legs, just trying to differentiate which leg comes forward and which one goes back. I'll add a little bit more colour up near the rump area that's turned away from the light, so it's more in shadow and needs to be deeper in colour. There's subtle mauves and blue greys up in that area. And then I'm going to add a few more strokes with the white for the mane. Now the brush that I'm using only has about 10 hairs in it. Once I've picked up a little bit of paint and put it onto the horse, it's been used up, and so then I have to go and reload the brush. But I actually still want some of the texture to be in the coat. He is the subject matter, and that's the area that needs to catch the most light. I softly feather the hard edge here where the belly turns under. And then I mix a warm white. It's got some scarlet and some lemon yellow in it. It's turned a peachy colour, and I'm just going to use that as a counterbalance to all of the cool colours that are in the rump area. There are a few more highlights that have to come down here on the legs. They do get softened off a little bit, but I carry that white down into the snow just to anchor the horse to the ground. And a final touch is adding the highlight to the rump.